morning to all. So in the last class we discussed about the topics which comes under the types of computers. Especially the last class was about the mainframe computers and supercomputers, which is the last two main topics comes under the types of computers. Now we have today the other topic, the third major topic from this module, which is the significance of information technology. So basically the term information technology, now we can call it as a information communication and technology, which means that the IT which transferred or which transformed into a kind of information and communication technology, ICT. So the significance of information technology, this is the third topic in this chapter, in the module 1, that we should be focused on today. So this chapter, the module 1 is divided into mainly 4 divisions. So the third division is regarding this significance of information technology. So before the coming of this industrial revolution, the majority of jobs were in some way linked with agriculture, and at this time the communication was solely by word of mouth or written or text, and the industrial age brought with it demands for administration and paperwork. And as time went on, the technology was used to develop the machines as well as the typewriter, telephone, and most importantly the computer. So today we have all these forms, especially the computers and the advanced forms of these devices, mobile devices, the communication system, all these things, which is the advanced form of this kind of this technology. And we now live in an information age, a society that is heavily dependent upon the storage and communication of information. Especially this situation is also very applicable for this topic, in which the significance of information and technology. So all the kind of things which includes the kind of computers, the informations, and all the forms of data, and the mobile devices, all the technical aspects of which comes under this topic, information and technology. So in this chapter we already studied the topics like the generations of computers, the history of computers, and the types of computers, and now we have a very general topic, which is the significance of information technology. So we all know about regarding this topic, these topics are very popular, and especially in this situation, this kind of mobile devices, the internet, and all the technical based on these visual experiences is obviously comes under the significance of this information technology. So today information is increasingly recognized as a key resource comparable in importance to capital and human resources. Some experts believe that just a labor was probably the most critical resources in the agriculture age, and a capital was the most critical resources in the industrial age. And also the information will be the most critical resource in the information age. So this age is regarded as the kind of information age, which means that most advanced form of information technology and all the advancement which comes under this age. So this information age is very important that we should focus on, and the advancement in the field of information technology, which is the IT, and also the most advanced form of this information technology, we can call it as a information and communication technology, ICT. It is the driving force behind the information revolution. So it is a very powerful tool or powerful factor in order to focus on while we study this kind of paper, especially the informatics, which is basically the intention of this paper is to focus on this kind of significance of the information technology. So this is just an introduction to the significance of this information technology, in which it is very important aspects in our day-to-day life, especially the kind of this communicating devices, the kind of this internet, and all the accessibilities which comes under this kind of this information age, the so-called information age, is it is a very important factor in our day-to-day life, and especially this current situation is very important to focus on this kind of technologies. So first we have to focus on the topic components of this information technology. So what are the components of information technology? It is also known as the information and communication technology, so ICT, and it is defined as the technology required for information processing. So simply we can define the IT or the information technology or the information and communication technology as a technology which is required for information processing. So it is basically just a simple definition for this information technology, and in particular the use of the computer and also the computer software to convert and store, process, transmit and retrieve information. The information technology is in fact a combination of this, all the kind of this following technologies. So we have to just subdivide this topic into different category, in which what are the components, what are the major components of this information technology. So firstly we have the computer hardware technologies. So what the kind of this computer hardware technology is that these technologies includes the microcomputers, the mid-size servers and the large mainframe systems, and the input, output and also the storage devices that support them. So all the hardware which comes under the topic the computer or the information technology, basically we have to focus on the computer. So the hardware means the hardware which is used for these computer technologies. All factors, all components comes under this topic will include in this topic, which is the computer hardware technologies. So it includes this kind of this input, output and also the storage devices, and especially the kind of this servers, the mainframe computers. All these things comes under this topic. Secondly, we have the computer software technologies. So the computer software technologies means the kind of softwares, applications, basically the smartphones which enables the kind of these apps. So all these things comes under the computer software technologies, the softwares which is related to computer. So these technologies include the operating system software, the web browsers, software productivity suites and software for business application, and also some kind of games and etc. So all these things, software, all this kind of application software comes under this topic, computer software technologies. So we already discussed about the computer hardware technologies, and now we discussed about the computer software technologies. Now thirdly we have the telecommunication and network technologies. So this is also a very important factor regarding the information technology, in which these technologies include the telecommunication media, the processors and software needed to provide the wire-based and wireless access and support for internet and other networks. So all the internet-based or network-based communicating things, or all the communicating aspects of these technologies comes under this topic, which is the telecommunication and network technologies. And lastly we have one more topic, which is the data resource management technologies. So it means that these technologies include the database management system software for the development, access and maintenance of the databases of an organization. So this is basically means that we can manage, access and also perform some kind of processes exclusively for this kind of data resource managements. So data processing, all this comes under this category. So these are the major 4 components of the information technology. Firstly we discussed about the computer hardware technologies. Secondly we discussed about the computer software technologies. Then we discussed about the telecommunication and also network technology. Lastly we discussed about the data resource management technologies. So this is regarding the first major topics which comes under the topic significance of information technology, which is the third topic in the module 1 of the informatics paper. So now we have the second major topic in this category, which is the impact of information technology. So basically this is a general aspect of this kind of topic, which is the impact of information technology, how it affects or how the further proceedings or the further information regarding the impact of this information technology will be discussed in this category. So the IT, which is the information technology, it is playing a crucial role in the contemporary society, and it has transformed the whole world into a global village with a global economy, which is increasingly dependent on the creative management and distribution of information. So this is just an advancement, or the how the information technology is developed into a certain amount or a specific amount of the limit of this information technology, in which the global village, the introduction to this this global village with a global economy, and which is increasingly dependent on the creative management and the distribution of information. So this means that the information technology, or all the aspects, especially the computer, networking and the communication, all these three aspects is just three major important aspects of this current world, in which the global village, which means that all the things, all the activities in the society, in the economy, is is based on this kind of information technology. So it can manage, access, process and also distribute the this information with the help of these devices, especially the mobile devices, the communicating devices and the computers itself, and all the things which is related to this computer technology is very helpful, or it plays a very crucial role in the this economic and also the this global forms of this world and also the technology. So today, the globalization of the world economies has greatly enhanced the value for this, especially the value for information especially to business organization, and it has offered new business opportunities. So the information technology also helped to improve the business opportunities, and also it enhance the values of information based on this business organization. So it is very clear that the importance or the significance or the impact of the information technology in the this business too. So we use this devices, computer devices, networking, communicating device, all these things we use in our day-to-day life, and also it is very important for this business oriented aspects too. So it is very important, and also today the IT provides the communication and also the analytical measures, and it also the analytical power that organization need for concluding the trade and the managing business at global level with much ease. So this means that the advancement or the improvement in the this information technology, which resulted a very good impact on this especially the society or the current world itself, and the IT provides the communication and also the analytical power that organization need for conducting the trade and managing the business at the global level with much ease. It means that it helps for the trade, for the business, for the communication and all the aspects. The information technology is a very important factor on all these things, and to coordinate their worldwide network of suppliers, distributors and consumers, organizations have developed global information systems that can track the orders, deliveries and payments round the clock, and also this has been possible because of the development of this IT in its present form. So here we have some of the major uses of this information technology, especially in our day-to-day life. For example, to track the delivery which we ordered in the help of this e-commerce sites, and also the this to track the supplies of this trade and distributors and consumers, and also to coordinate all this data, all these processes, this information technology is a very important factor. So this is regarding the first part of this topic, which is the impact of information technology. So it helps to in the kind of this all these sectors, exclusively for this business sector, our day-to-day life, for the e-commerce, for coordinating the all the business organization. And also we have another important factor, which is also we will be discussed today, which is the educational importance to this information technology. So this is the first part of this topic, which is the impact of information technology. So the second part of this impact of information technology, it just focus on the some other topics which we discussed in a very detailed manner, which includes the economical impacts, the social impacts, the economic development, and also such other development impact in the field of this information technology. So the scope of information technology is very wide, and it is gaining the momentum with each passing day to encompass the many fields of work and study. And in earlier days, the information technology was limited to people in which working in particular sectors, and such as the banking, engineering, and or science sector. And the passing time, however, has been a huge growth spurt in the usage of information technology, and the advent of the personal computer has made it possible even for the masses to benefit the immensely from the same. So which means that the impact or the scope for the information technology was developed in a very good manner, in a great manner, in which it was very wide in gaining the momentum with each passing day to encompass the many fields of work and study. So the work and study, the both are very influential or the very important factors that the information technology is focused on. So now we have some of these major impacts of information technology, which includes the economic impacts, then the social impacts, then also the economic impacts. So we have to focus on these topics. So firstly, the economic impacts. So in the recent decades, the widespread incorporation of ICTs into many tiers of business, political processes, and everyday life has caused fundamental restructuring of the global economy. And ICTs have increased the international interconnectedness and the speed of the process of globalization. So the globalization is which is very connected to this kind of information technology, and this kind of regarding the globalization, it comes under the economic impacts. So by increasing the speed of international communication, ICTs have enabled the corporations to outsource jobs both in the manufacturing as well as the white-collar sectors. And while this lowers the production cost and as a result the cost of goods, it has also had fundamental and often the detrimental impacts of labor conditions. So the economic means or the economic impacts of this information technology means it has already impacted or it already affected a very wide area of kind of this widespread area of the incorporation of these technologies. It means that for the help of this globalization, for all the trade sectors, for all the white collar sectors, and for the production sectors, and also the labor conditions too. All these things comes under the economic impacts of this information technology. And despite the international spread of ICTs, the economic impacts have been geographically uneven, and also they have exacerbated pre-existing disparities between developing countries which can afford to produce and consume the latest technologies and developing the countries which cannot, and also this gap is known as the digital divide. So we have another important thing regarding this kind of economic impact, which is the digital divide, which means that a kind of gap between the developing countries and developed countries. So This gap is very important in the, while we focus on this economic impact, in which the countries which comes under the disparities between the developed countries and which can afford to produce and consume the latest technologies. So the developed countries have an advantage in order to produce or advance the new forms of technologies, and also it developing for the developing countries, they cannot introduce these kinds of advancement in a very great manner. So this is just a gap between the developed countries and also the developing countries. So this gap, especially this gap, is regarded as a digital divide. It is very important while we focus on this economic impact of this information technology. So in this economic impact, we discussed about the globalization, regarding the trade communication or the international communication of this all the goods and services with the help of this ICT, and also it enabled the cooperation to the outsourced jobs, and also for the kind of this fundamental and the all the use of this determinal impacts of the labor conditions. ICT helps, or ICT is just like a assistant for all these kind of problems, all these kind of processes, and all these topics. So, and also we have another important economic impact, which is the change in the kind of these countries, in which some developed countries produce a new kind of advanced forms of technologies, while the developing countries only produce a kind of a certain limit. In a very limit, they produce a kind of new technologies. So there is a very clear gap between the developed countries and developing countries. So this gap, which is economically basically on this economical impacts of this ICT, this gap is regarded as a digital divide of this economic impact. So that's regarding the first impact of this the information technology. Then secondly, we have the social impact. So the social impacts means all kind of social factors and all kind of the day-to-day activities. All these things comes under this topic, which is the social impacts. So ICTs have impacted societies on many levels, and they have extended the reach of public administration, leading to a centralization of regional management into the urban centers, and they have led to new forms of employment in innovation and also production of ICTs, and a demand for the highly skilled specialist laborers. So this means that a kind of improvement in the kind of especially the social factor. So this ICT which have impacted the society in many levels. So the one of the major important factor of this social impact is that they have extended the reach of public administration. So with the help of this ICT, the public administration, the reach of public administration is it is extended into a certain extent, and also it leading to a centralization of regional management into urban centers. So it is a change of centralization in which the urban sectors changed into a kind of this centralized factor or centralized regional management, and also they have led to the new forms of employment in innovation, and also the production of ICTs and a demand of highly skilled specialist laborers or specialist persons. So this means that both the economic, also we discussed earlier, and the social level, the ICT has a clear edge or clear impact over all the kind of these topics, all the kind of its functions. And however, ICTs have also enabled the professionals in certain industries to be replaced by unskilled workers, or even made the entirely redundant, and also the proponents of the ICTs portray this as a reskilling and also of the workforce, while to detractors into a de-skilling process. So we have two topics, which is reskilling and also de-skilling. So this basic difference between the reskilling and de-skilling means is that The reskilling is a continuous process. It is a kind of this improvement process, while the reskilling or de-skilling is a kind of this a very steady manner, or a very like a influential factor of this kind of skilled persons. So one is the improving factor, one is a improved factor. So that's the difference between the de-skilling and the reskilling. Reskilling means a improving or the advancing factor, whereas the de-skilling means a kind of this advanced factor and further improvement factor. So this is regarding the first aspects of this social impacts. Then the diffusion of ICTs within societies is varied, with some institutions and sections of society having greater access to ICTs than others, and these divisions are reflected in the content of ICTs. And for example, the English language, which is understood by only 10% of this world population, accounts for approximately 80% of internet content. So this is very important kind of this factor or fact regarding this English language, in which 80% of content of internet is based on this English language, and also with only the 10%, it is an approximate value in which of the world population only use this kind of or understood only the kind of this English language. So it is also another important factor of the change in the society or the variation in society with the help of this ICT. So the last point regarding the social impacts is that despite these imbalances in power relations, many social justice movements believe in ICTs, and also these divisions are reflected in the content of ICTs. For example, the English language is a very important example, and the many social justice movements believes in ICTs can be used to promote the equality and empower the marginalized groups, and these groups especially the which helps to improve this kind of ICT. It as a means of providing the accessible and affordable information, and as a platform for voices that might otherwise go unheard. So this is also another important factor in which the future or the further development of ICTs on the basis of this social impact. So this second part of this topic, which is the impact of social the information technology, the second topic was regarding the social impacts. So in this topic we discussed about the major advancement in the with the help of this ICT in the society, basically the public administration and leading to a centralization of regional management, and also the reach of public administration also very important, and then the new forms of employment in innovation and the production of ICTs, and also the demand of the highly skilled laborers, specialized laborers, and also the employment in innovation, and also some kind of reskilling and de-skilling activities. And also lastly we discussed about the development of language, English language, with the help of the ICT, the popularity, and later we discussed about the equality and empowerment of these marginalized groups with the help of this ICT. So it means that ICT is a very important aspect, or it helped the society to develop in a very greater manner, an advanced manner with the help of this ICT. So that's regarding the social impact of this ICT. So we just discussed about the economic impact and social impacts. So now we have one more major topic which comes under the impact of this information technology, which is the economic development. So economic development means all kinds of development which is generalized or which comes under the topic economics. So ICTs have been identified by many international development institutions as a crucial element in developing the world's underdeveloping or developing countries by integrating them into the global economy, and by making the global markets more accessible. So this means that for all the sectors, for the developing sectors or the developed sectors, ICT help to improve or help to develop in a very good manner, in which especially the global economy, which is focused on here, the global economy, and by making the global markets more accessible. So with the help of this ICT, the economic development is advanced in a very good manner with the help of this global economy, by making the global markets more accessible. So this is the result of this ICT in the this economic development. So it helps to make the global markets more accessible. For example, the e-commerce, also we can include this topic in this category, in which we can buy or we can sell all these of products with the help of this internet or this ICT assisted techniques. So it means that it is a very one of the major advancement of this ICT, especially in the this economic development. Then the World Bank has collaborated with the International Finance Corporation to promote access to ICTs, and an initiative which it describes as one of its most successful. And in 2006, the United Nations UN, which launched an initiative called the Global Alliance for the Information and Communication Technologies and Development. So beside this of ICT, there is a scope for the development of this ICT too. So this was implemented in 2006 by UN, and this initiative, which is called as the Global Alliance for the Information and Communication Technologies and also for the developments. So this is the most important aspect of this economic development, in which a global of alliance in order to develop this of ICT in a very good manner. So that's regarding the economic development. So today we discussed the major topics which comes under the impact of the information technology. They are the economic impacts, then the social impacts, then the economic development, and we have some more topics which comes under this topic, which means that the IT, the significance or the impact of IT in various fields. We have many other fields besides this economic and social facts. So we will be focusing on this topic in the next class. So today we discussed about the significance of information technology and introduction to this of information technology, then the components of information technology, which includes the computer hardware technologies, computer software technologies, then the telecommunication and network technologies, and also the data resource management technologies. So these four topics are the major components of this information technology. Then we discussed about the topic, the impact of information technology, which we focused on the three major topics, which includes the economic impacts, which includes the globalization, the trade, international trade connection, and also it helps to produce a good result in the this specialized labors, and also it lowers the the production cost, and also as a result the cost of the goods also reduced, and it has also had fundamental and often determinal impacts of labor conditions too. So this is the economic impact of this information technology. Then we discussed about the social impacts. It is a very important aspect of this ICT, in which for the society or for the world, the ICT helped in a very important, or it affected in a very important factor, in which it helped in every sector of this society, for every aspects of the our day-to-day life, and also for the employment, for the work sector, for the education sector, and for each and every sector which comes under society, the ICT has a a specific impact. Then we discussed about the economic development. So the economic development, which means that the development of these economics with the help of this ICT. and it means all the kind of development for the developing countries and also for the developed countries. This kind of ICT or the impact of ICT helps to improve or to advance in a very good manner. So it is very important. And also the initiative by UN in 2006, which is an alliance, global alliance for the information and communication technologies and development. It is a very important alliance by the world, the whole world, exclusively, which is implemented by UN in 2006. It is very important to focus on. So that's the further improvement in the economic development of ICT. So that's regarding the major topics that we discussed today. So the rest of this impact of the information technology, the rest of these topics we will be discussed on the next class. So it includes the various kinds of significance of IT in the various fields, and also some kind of concluding part to this kind of information and communication technology. So that's for today. Thank you. Happy learning.